Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Layla, and for today's video, I want to go through an end of year financial checklist. Everything I'm going to mention in this video you can do at any point in the year, but definitely very important toward the end of the year just to make sure you didn't miss anything. So first up would be to max out your retirement contributions, or at the very least, you could increase your contributions for those final couple paychecks of the year. The most important one here that you don't have a chance to continue to contribute to into the new year is your 401k. So your 401k, you can contribute from January through December for that year. The 2024 contribution limit for a 401k, as well as a 403b and other retirement plans depending on where you work, is $23,000, but if you are over the age of 50, you can contribute an additional $7,500, which sometimes people are not aware of that who are over 50. So if you are looking to take advantage of this full contribution limit, just be sure you have your final couple paychecks set up to do so. But otherwise, you could just bump up how much you contribute in order to invest more money and potentially save on taxes. So for example, if you are contributing to a traditional 401k and you've realized, hey, I've made more money this year than I expected to, or I just really want to save on taxes, you could bump up how much you put to your traditional 401k. So it's kind of a win-win situation. You're investing more, but also saving on taxes. There's also the IRAs, so your Roth IRA or traditional IRA. With that one though, you do have until April of the following year to contribute to. For even if it's 2024, you can still contribute up until April 2025, but it would be ideal to put as much as you can or to finish maxing out your IRA for 2024 in 2024 instead of pushing into 2025. So come 2025, you could just focus on that year's IRA. You can also contribute more to your HSA. You can make sure that you are maxing that out for the year, or at least just contribute a little bit more. That also lowers your tax burden. And then if you are somebody who is beyond the income limits for contributing to a Roth IRA, which is honestly a great position to be in, definitely consider a backdoor Roth IRA, which is where you contribute to a traditional IRA, then roll it into a Roth IRA. It is legal to do. It is a great strategy for people who are high income earners. Not going to go into great detail here, but something that would be important to do before the year ends. Second thing would be to start estate planning or review any planning that you've done in the past. Thinking about what happens to your belongings and just people in your life after you pass is not very comfortable to think about. I understand that, but it is very, very important because I don't know about y'all, but I definitely want my money going to where I want it to go. And I definitely want, for example, like my body handled a certain way. So included here would be a few things. First up would be your will. If you have not written a will, I highly recommend you do so. It's something that's been on my to-do list for so long, like years, because even if you're 20, like you should have a will. No matter your age, you should have a will. And it's just something I've procrastinated on for so long. So this is the year. This is the year that I'm going to do it, okay? Before 2024 ends, I'm going to put together a will and make sure that is all set in stone. Be sure that you're also reviewing your beneficiaries. So any assets that you have, they typically allow you to set up a beneficiary. So if something happens to you, then your money would go to that person or a couple of people, however it is that you set it up. So sometimes people don't set up a beneficiary, so that's one thing. Make sure you have one just in general. And then if you've set beneficiaries up a few years ago, but things have changed, you'll definitely want to update those beneficiaries. If you got a divorce, if you had children, if you just stop having contact with somebody that's in your beneficiaries list, that is important to update because you want your money to go to the correct people in your life. But honestly, more important here is having that will in place because that's going to be like the main thing to make the decision. So that is number one priority, but definitely review your beneficiaries. And that leads me to a product that I recently found called Knockbox, and that's NOK box, next of kin. And they are actually doing a giveaway for my channel, which I am very excited about. So let's talk about that. So this here is the Knockbox. I did purchase this myself. I came across this online. It was actually an ad on Facebook, and I was like, that is genius. Why didn't I think of this? It is a very cool system. So they have a couple of boxes available. For the giveaway, they are doing this specific Knockbox. So this is the fireproof box. And the fireproof is, so when it comes to fireproof or fire resistant, this is not 100,000% fireproof because if you were to set this on fire, like of course something's going to happen to it. But so it does have a lid that comes with it. I'm not going to open, this is like Velcro, so it's kind of loud, but it does fully close. Obviously, if you wanted truly fire resistant, that would be a much more expensive product. Like you would need a full on safe for that. But even then, like, you know, cars and safes, those have also melted in fires. So yeah, this is definitely a much more affordable option and adds that extra layer of protection. It comes in a relatively flat box, and then you set this up. This folds open and has a bottom in it that will keep it open, and then these wire pieces that also help it to stay open and holds all of these little folders. And now in each of these folders, there's relevant parts of all of our lives. So there's a whole section on directions. Let me show you this because this is something that you just have to slowly work through. It's this thick packet of paper, but it's super organized. So it's in order on kind of how you want to go through things. They do actually break down different ways that you can go through this, like just go in order or go from back to front, that sort of thing. But it's this whole checklist and it's so organized. Like I just love it so much. So you can store information on your primary residence, maintenance and repairs, utilities, HOA, vehicles, bank accounts, any debts, any investments, any income, other assets, family and friends, legal and tax, like health, education, career, all these different areas of your life. There's going to be a sheet for it, and then there's a folder for it that you put the associated things with. So this is going to include like logins to your bank account, so if somebody needs to access it. This will include documents that are important for each of these sections, like if you have any sort of contracts or birth certificate, social security card you could put into here. So these papers are for you to hold information, but ideally you also, you know, if you have any other paperwork that are relevant to each of these categories, then you can also put them in here and keep it organized. You do get some extra folders, so if there's anything else you want to add into here, you can definitely do so. And then you also get these pouches, so protected documents. It's like a nice zip pouch, very sturdy. And then there's this smaller zip pouch for keys. So you also get these colored tags that if you have any keys that are relevant, if you have some spare keys and you want to just have them all in one place, this is a great place to do so. And you can label those. And then ideally what you're going to do is tell your next of kin about this box, where you have it, what sort of information is in there. This also isn't something that's just for if you pass away. Like, yes, of course, this would be important for somebody to have. But let's say you're in the hospital or, you know, something happened to you and you need to tell somebody to do something, to log in, to whatever the case may be. You can tell them where to find this box and they can find that information. Same goes with, like, let's say you're traveling, you could be overseas and the person, your next of kin or whoever it is that knows about this box is at home, and you can say, hey, I need you to handle this for me, check my box, this section, that sort of thing. So it really keeps you organized while you're alive and beyond. This is something that I have slowly been working through, and it is something that you will probably have to spend, you know, a couple hours each week or like just 30 minutes each week to get through, but absolutely worth it and very, very important just for everybody to have. So like I said, they are doing a giveaway. If you are interested in this exact box, be sure that you give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe, that's a requirement, so make sure you're subscribed to my channel. And then I want you to comment down below what it is that you are going to do before the year ends. Something that you've been procrastinating on, or anything from this list where you're like, hey, I need to, you know, increase my contribution, or I'm going to start writing up my will, that sort of thing. Whatever it is that you are going to be making sure you get done before the end of the year, please comment that down below in order to enter, and I will pick a winner within the next couple of weeks. All the info, all the details will be in my description box. I will also have a link for you to purchase this box if you want to. So if you want it for yourself, or if you want to give it as a gift for the holiday season, I'm sure right now there's some sales with this. So I will have my link in the description box. I would really appreciate if you use it. But stay tuned, I will be announcing the winner soon, and thank you so much to Knockbox for being willing to do this giveaway. Third thing, make sure you use up your remaining benefits. This is specifically for your employer benefits. So if you have an FSA, an HSA is fine. You can hold on to an HSA and use that for later. But if you have an FSA, those are funds that you need to use within the year. You do have to spend that money on qualified medical and health expenses, but if you feel like you won't be going to the doctor for the rest of the year, or if you don't need any medical purchases, there are several other options. So even if you just Google FSA eligible items on Amazon, you will find a whole list of things that you can purchase that you can cover with your FSA. Going along with that, make sure you're taking advantage of all of the benefits offered by your employer. So if you have any PTO that you haven't used, one, does it roll over into the next year? And if it does, okay, cool, make sure you keep track of that and you get that into the following year. But otherwise, go ahead and schedule your PTO. I know we're toward the end of the year and that might be tough, but I'm a firm believer that you should be using every bit of PTO that you are given at your job. Any sort of reimbursements that your employer offers throughout the year, so if they cover a certain amount of tuition or education type of thing, maybe you can sign up for a course or get some sort of certification with that, but just review your benefits, make sure you're taking advantage of it, and be sure to use it all up before the year ends. Fourth thing is it's open enrollment time, so we can pick our health insurance. This is whether you have a full-time job, most companies have open enrollment around this time period for a few weeks, and then same with if you're self-employed and we have to choose through healthcare.gov or whichever state access you have. If you do not have health insurance at the moment, that also includes dental insurance and vision insurance, now is the time to enroll. This is the best time to enroll and oftentimes the only time to enroll. So if you are somebody who's self-employed, for example, and have been for years but have never had any sort of coverage, you won't be able to get that coverage later on unless there's a qualifying life event. And sometimes those are tricky to come across. So that would be like getting married or having job loss, that sort of thing. So right now is the best time to pick your health coverage. You can also have a broker help you to do this if you're overwhelmed by the decisions. Having a broker does not cost you anything extra. They're just going to help you find the best plan for your situation. I think technically open enrollment is until January 15th, but if you want coverage starting January 1st, you would need to enroll by December 15th. Next thing is going to be creating an annual plan or budget. And I actually will have a full video on how to do this coming in December. I will also film a video of my annual budget. It's something that I do every year. And basically all that this is how you expect to spend all of your money for 2025 or whichever year that you may be watching this in. This is much easier to do if you've been tracking your spending for the full year, because the more data you have, the better. So if you have 10 months or 11 months of tracking your spending, then you can use that to kind of see what things will look like for the following year. The first thing to start with though is your income, how much you expect your income to be for all of next year. That can be your gross income or your net income, depending on how you want to break out your categories of spending. Like if you want to include your 401k and your health insurance, that sort of thing, then look at your gross income for the year. Otherwise, you can do your net income. And then if you have data on how you spend your money, you can list all of those categories out and then start planning how much it will cost you for a full 12 months. This is easier for some things versus others. So if you have consistent rent for the year or consistent mortgage for the year, then you know, okay, that's going to cost me $17,000 for a full 12 months, for example. You can also incorporate your goals into that, which that's, spoiler alert, that's going to be on this list of, this checklist for the end of the year as well. But if you want to max out your Roth IRA, for example, that's going to cost you $7,000 for the full year. So you can put that on there. If you want to pay off $15,000 of debt, you can put that on there. And then you add everything up, add all of your expenses up, subtract that from your income, and ideally you would be in the positive. And if you're not, you need to adjust things. It's basically just making a budget on a much bigger scale. If you have not been tracking your expenses for the full year, I do suggest tracking your spending from 1 month of each quarter, just so you can kind of get a better picture of how you're spending your money, because if you're looking at just the last 3 months or whatever it is, then it won't be a good picture of the full year. But yes, I highly recommend doing that. It is something I do for myself every year, also something that I do with my clients. So if you are interested in getting any help with this, reach out to me, we can talk about it and, start working on your finances together. Next up, of course, we have to look at our financial goals. So look back at the beginning of the year. What financial goals did you set for all of 2024, whichever year you're watching this in? This isn't an exercise where I want you to feel bad, no matter where you are with your financial goals. It's just important to review them and reflect on them. definitely focus on your achievements. Definitely be proud of those achievements. Make sure that you are aware of them. And, you know, if you want to, maybe treat yourself to something or just celebrate that you took action on those goals. If there are any goals that you did not reach, can you possibly reach them before the year ends? Maybe you are falling a little bit short on your savings or how much you had invested, so you can kind of go a little bit harder in the final month of 2024 and get closer to that goal or even hit that goal. But even if you don't, that is absolutely okay. I set goals all the time that I do not achieve, but I am always further than I was. Like, I can confidently look back at a year ago and know that I'm in a better place than I was a year ago. And that just happens every single year. So if every single year you are doing that, you will see progress no matter what. So don't feel bad if you didn't hit any. This is just an exercise to take time, look back on what you've achieved, definitely celebrate those wins. And then for any of those goals that you maybe didn't hit this year, you can roll them into the next year. So that leads me to my final thing on this list, which would be to set your goals for 2025. I will also have videos coming in December on how to set effective financial goals, and of course sharing my own financial goals for 2025 because I think it's super exciting. I set goals every single year. I definitely encourage you to do so. Financial goals are easy to set as well. You know, they're just numbers based. So they are easier to set and also easier to track and kind of see your progress with everything. If you haven't started already, definitely start thinking of what you want to achieve in 2025. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but I think it's important to set goals because it gives you something to go after and you can just definitely see your progress throughout the year. That's everything for this video. Be sure you enter the giveaway, comment down below what it is that you are going to be getting done before the year ends. Thank you so much to Knockbox for doing this giveaway, and as I mentioned before, if you are just interested in purchasing this or if you want to give it as a gift, my link is down below. I would appreciate if you use it. Let me know if you purchase and start using it because I know working through it has been very helpful and just provides a lot of peace of mind. So anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one.